Hi, I'm Ian Pratt. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about this gun and full set of accoutrements to go with it. All these were made for a donation to Cantor's Cave 4-H camp in Jackson, Ohio to raise funds for their 4-H youth shooting sports program. I'll start with the gun here. This is a smooth rifle. Now, what is a smooth rifle? Well, it's a smoothbore gun, no rifling, but it's stocked similar to a rifle. It has rifle-style hardware. It's got a rifle-style cheek piece. And it also has sights on it, which typically your smoothbores, Fowlers might only have a front sight. This one has a rear sight on it also. So a little bit about the gun. It was made by Ken Gahagan and myself. We teach a gun class in January every year up there at Cantor's Cave. And we started the gun there in class. We're able to do demonstrations for our students while making some of the parts for it. The barrel was made by John Getz. It's a 10 gauge smoothbore barrel. And the lock is a Jim Chambers early Ketlin lock that we've modified the plate a little bit just cosmetically, and then we tuned up the lock. Takes a 7/8 flint. We didn't put a flint in because the gun's, we wanted to raffle off the gun unfired, and we didn't want people snapping it and scratching up the frizzen face. But it's a flint lock, and it's a really good quality lock from Chambers. The hardware, this is a trigger guard I forged, and Ken did some brass embellishment on it there in class. The trigger is handmade. We've got a sliding wood patch box. All this is typical for a gun that would be made in colonial America, probably mid 18th century on to third quarter. It's not really patterned off a particular gun, but we've kind of pulled together details that we thought would work well on it. The butt plate is one that I forged in class. Again, Ken did some nice brass embellishment on it. I'll go ahead and flip the gun over. Here we see the cheek piece side. We've got sort of a mixed metal thing going on here. We've got the wrought iron trigger guard and butt plate, and we've got brass for the side plate. Moving up the forend, we see we've also got brass ramrod pipes, some more carving at the entry area. You can see there's a simple but nicely done molding and a hickory ramrod, typical for a gun like this. The ramrod is tapered, flared out, belled out at the end for strength when you're loading. We've got a brass muzzle cap, and Ken made a really neat sight for this with a brass base and a silver blade. That's very similar to a sight that's on a gun that's attributed to William Andes, which we also, at least in part, patterned our stock after here. We've got opposing signatures on our top flat to show you who made it. Now, these smoothbores are really nice, versatile guns for hunting. You can load them either with shot or a single ball. If you wanted to go, say, deer hunting, you'd load a single ball. If you wanted to hunt turkeys, squirrels, you'd load shot. Those of you that aren't familiar with a loading shot in a gun like this, but you're familiar with modern shotguns, think of the way you would load it as a deconstructed shot shell in a way. You'd pour your powder down first, then some kind of wadding on top of your powder, then some shot, and a wad of some kind to retain your shot. I'll show you here. A traditional type of wadding would be tow, some flax tow. Some people like to use hornet's nest. There are commercially available wads that you can use in a muzzleloader also, and then the shot, really no different than what you'd see in a modern shot shell, some lead shot. Now, as far as a single ball, most of the old references talk about, in fact, almost all of them, talk about using wadding rather than patching for loading a ball. but most people today do use some kind of fabric patching when they load the ball. This is a 50 caliber ball. To give you an idea, the 10 gauge bore, you'd probably use about a 750 ball with a patch. And that shows you the size difference. I'd also like to address the left-handed versus right-handed issue. I am right-handed, but I shoot left-handed. And I've sighted in every gun I've made. My own hunting gun is a right-handed gun. To me, it's never been an issue. A lot of people are concerned that the flash in the pan is closer to their face and will blind you somehow when the gun goes off. It's really only, an inch or so farther this direction than if the gun, the lock had been on the side of the gun. Sometimes the fit can be an issue if the gun was made for a right-handed person, but most guns with rifle sights, many of them anyhow, it's not really going to be a problem. So if you're a left-handed person hesitating to buy tickets for this thing because it's a right-handed gun, I'd say it's not going to be a problem for you. It'll work. The pouch was made by my wife, Mary Ellen Pratt, who, along with Gene McDonald, teaches a leatherworking class at Canner's Cave. This is made of tanned hog hide, has a nice simple forged iron buckle, and a hanging pocket on the inside. Nice pouch, simply done. Again, typical for the period, for the size, and the form of it. A simpler pouch will hold everything you need to go on a day's hunt and more. The pole tomahawk and carrier set was made by husband and wife team Rich and Gene McDonald. Gene, as I said, helps Mary Ellen with they co-teach the leatherworking class, and Rich teaches classes up there too. He's been teaching a tomahawk making class up there. The carrier is really nicely made by Gene. Iron buckle. We've got a button to retain the flap. And here's the hawk. Rich made it with a nice hickory handle. Like the rifle, this has a aged finish. Some people call it an antiqued finish. Kind of brings the whole set together. Nice slim profile, really nicely balanced. Rich makes these in the class with the punched eye method, and that's how this one is done too. So Rich made this, and one of his students, Todd Butler, helped file it out, and also Joe McGee, who helps with the classes up there, helped file out the head. Next, we'll move on in the bag. We also have a little ball pouch that was made by one of our frequent students, Eric Fleischer, who's also a good leather worker. And it's fairly simple, but really works well. You kind of squeeze it together to dump a ball out when you need one. And then it flattens back out. So it's handy to have, and that fits nicely right in the pouch. The knife was made by myself and John House. John and his brother Herschel and Joe Seabolt teach a knife making class up there at Canner's Cave. John forged the blade. The blade is just shy of 7 inches, I believe, 6 3/4, and we're 11 1/4 overall length, including the antler handle. It was forged from 1084 spring steel, and we've got the Southern Ohio Artisan Workshops stamp there on the blade. And I made the sheath some bark tan deer hide for the outside with a rawhide liner, center seam style. The powder horn, made by Gary Ludwig, who is frequently a student and a gifted artist. He made the powder horn, got a nice cherry base plug, really nice faceted flats, great shape to it. There's how Gary marked his horn. Some nice chip carving, turning. Really nice work. And I'll take it out here in the sun in a minute. I'll show you the strap quickly. This was also made by Mary Ellen Pratt, the woven strap. And hopefully this is going to work. We'll take it out in the sun and you can see how transparent the horn is. Really nice, thinly scraped. It's light to carry, and you can easily see how much powder you have in there. So that's the set. Raffle tickets are available. The information will be posted here. And thanks everybody for your support.